Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Yay, it's
Hi.
day two.
It's day two of the Thriving in the First Year Summit. Are you feeling like you're thriving, Kaylee?
I am. I am. I've loved these talks. Gosh, it gets me so excited. And I wish I had this as a first-time mom. What an amazing resource these speakers are, have been, and will continue to be. Man, I am so looking forward to hearing how people are feeling about everything that they're learning.
Yeah, absolutely. So let us know that you are here with us in the comment box. It's always nice to know. Once Kaylee, I did a live and I was on mute for the first like 10 minutes.
Oh no.
So I'm
Oh
always like
no.
from the get-go, as soon as we like hit live, I'm like, tell me that you hear me.
Yeah. Oh man,
Yeah.
technology.
Right. So let's go over who we have speaking today. We have Katie Ferrero, who is talking about baby-led weaning made easy. Alison Vogel is talking about supporting your baby's language through play. Shayna Quarry is talking about the truth about tongue ties. Mallory Roberts is talking about getting to the root of reflux and colic. Oh, I need that one.
Mm.
Melissa Guerrero is talking about
Ferrero. Yeah.
bringing back the joy of pumping. And we today here on the live are going to be talking a little bit about understanding the holistic picture of our baby's development. But before we get there, we did want to tell you that we are pre-recording this, just like yesterday. Kaylee, do you want to show off your belly again?
I'm 34 weeks and some change.
Yeah, so we pre-recorded these because Kaylee is due just before the summit, so we want to give her that time to be with baby and not be stressed. But I am with you on the comment section of this live. So any questions that you have, anything really, and you know that our inbox is open for any kind of queries about tech or accessing anything. But we want to use these lives to really bring forward the things that we're learning about so that they're not just like these random facts that we once learned or an image that we see, but really that we're integrating our learning into the way that we act with our own children, whether you are a parent of a baby or soon to be baby. As well as for our clinicians, really integrating what we're learning because we are taking a very holistic health promoting approach towards the first year of life, and we want to integrate that. So as you go through this, I'll be popping some questions and comments into the comment box as well, and we do have some extra motivation for you to be commenting away in this comment box. So Kaylee, do you want to tell our listeners about that?
Yes, and I love that we're talking about the holistic picture of baby development today because I feel like it lends itself so much into today's sponsor, which is Evivo probiotics. And I'm going to show them in a second, but I want to tell a brief anecdote about my own kiddos. They both really struggled with GI stuff and just discomfort. You could just tell our first daughter would wake up in the middle of the night screaming with like a gas bubble in her tummy or something that was bothering her. She had a lot of difficulty napping throughout the day, and it seemed like maybe she was having some GI issues, maybe some reflux that wasn't significant enough that our doctors wanted to really address it. But so much of the options that we were given were just treat the symptoms, right? Like, so they told us to maybe do gas drops or to rub her tummy and try to help with the gas, which, I understand people thought that that was going to work. But at the same time, my mom gut was just, pun intended, mom gut, was screaming at me like, but why is this happening? Why are babies dealing with these gas issues, these tummy issues? This just doesn't seem like it should be this way or this extreme to the point where we don't have any better options. And so since that time, 6 years has passed, I've learned that I passed my own gut health to my babies, which is something that not a lot of people know. We think about breastfeeding and, oh, whatever we eat, they're taking in and it can affect their GI system. But I think that missing component is really the gut health component and how, in general in society now, many people are struggling with improper gut flora and bacteria. And I am not an expert by any means, but it was so fascinating to me to talk to Evivo about their probiotic. This was developed, it's the only one on the market that has a specific strain that no other probiotic has. And researchers added in this strain because they found that in many industrialized countries, our gut flora is lacking this strain. And I'm going to look at my notes because I'm going to missay it, but it is B. infantis EVC001. So it's a good gut bacteria that does wonders for your baby's gut. It improves their immune system. It has countless benefits shown to reduce the amount of bad gut bacteria, reduce colic-associated symptoms, improve sleep, relief from eczema and diaper rash and things like that. That was another thing that our daughter struggled with, was unrelenting diaper rash later. Once she started solids, and no one could help us. They were giving us those Band-Aids, they were giving us the creams and stuff. And now looking back, I think, man, if she had had a healthier gut, maybe she wouldn't have dealt with those issues at all. And so this is a product that we are absolutely using for baby number 3. I am on a probiotic myself now in hopes that I can pass on some of that good gut health. But maybe you haven't done that, or maybe you just want to ensure that your baby is starting off life with a really, really good gut health, especially going into the winter. You know, when the summit wraps up, we're going to be going into those winter months, and we know that good gut bacteria helps us fight off infection and improves our immunity. This product is free from additives, artificial colors, dyes, flavors, and preservatives. So when you're giving your baby this, you can feel good knowing that it's a high quality probiotic without any unnecessary extras. Over 60,000 babies have been given Evivo to date, and it's going so well. I'm so excited to try this out. So they are sponsoring today's talk. You can enter to win a month supply of Evivo by commenting below. You get bonus points for commenting maybe one of your key takeaways or a few of your key takeaways from today's amazing speakers. A lot of them did talk about the reflux and colic and root cause, and how we can't just keep putting these Band-Aids on things. And I think Evivo is going to continue to be a name that you see. They're a relatively new company, but I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of them and a lot more clinicians recommending them. So you can comment below, tell us your key takeaways, and make sure that you're following them on Instagram. They sent me a wealth of research that went into creating this product, which makes me feel really good as a healthcare professional, being able to recommend it to my patients or to my friends and their babies, knowing that it is backed by so much research that went into creating this product. So let me make sure. Oh, it's also gluten-free and it's made in the US. I want to make sure that I'm hitting all the high points here for any questions that people have. But we will have the link below to follow Evivo on Instagram, and you can enter to win a month's supply by commenting below.
Amazing, amazing. And I did want to just remind everyone that if you are joining us here on the live and you have the VIP ticket, this talk that we're having today is not included in your CEU or your contact hours. It is separate. This is just for fun. This is just for us to kind of connect and bring forward some of that learning. All of the talks that contribute towards those hours of professional development are within the VIP ticket, whether you're accessing that on the podcast or whether you are accessing that within the course platform. So you're, of course, welcome to be here, and we love having you with us in the lives, but this isn't part of your CEU, what qualifies for the CEUs. So I think from that, we are going to jump into our topic for today, which a lot of our talks today were really focused on feeding and things that are around feeding. And I know that it's easy to kind of think, well, I work with head shape, or I work with this, or if you're a clinician. So we wanted to just really focus our talk this morning, at least in the live section, more around our role as clinicians in terms of promoting holistic development for children. And if you are a parent, this is for you too, of course, because you are working, you are, supporting your whole child. So I wonder, Kaylee, can you kick us off with just like sharing a little bit of what does it mean to you when you say holistic development?
Yeah, so I think back to my own faults as a clinician. I think really early in my career, particularly, I mentioned yesterday, like before I had kids, I really just didn't even know the right questions to ask, or what things might be problematic, when I should refer on. I had kind of that lack of confidence, and do I wish that I would have had something like this to just keep refreshing my brain on topics that were relevant to families as a whole, and hearing little things that might be flags in my brain, maybe not my own professional clinical mind of things that I knew that I could help with, but things that a parent might say that would cue me to think, we need to dig deeper here and look at this as a more holistic picture. I'm not just a physical therapist. I need to not just be looking at movement. I need to be looking at this child as a whole. And so, I make a joke sometimes about certain things in realms of therapy that are outside my own area of expertise. And I'll say, I know just enough to get myself in trouble, but it really is true. Like, I want to know just enough about other professions and the resources that they can provide and the things that they're looking at and screening for, that I can quote unquote get myself in trouble, but I can, help that family know I am not the person that can solve this for you. I can't sit here and talk you through, oh, you're telling me that you're hearing clicking whenever your baby's nursing, or even maybe the mom is nursing when she's in the session and I hear clicking. I cannot solve that problem for that family because that is not my area of expertise, but I can know just enough, for example, in that situation to say, okay, so do you notice any reflux? Are you noticing any gassiness or any discomfort after feeds? And using that as a trail to then refer on to someone who can help them, and use it to work also with colleagues in my profession in different areas of expertise to make sure that we are seeing everything together. I'm also making sure that I'm communicating well the things that I'm seeing in our sessions and knowing what might be important to them to know going into maybe an evaluation that I referred a child for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's such a great way to describe like the holistic role, and also the way the children are developing holistically. I studied occupational therapy in South Africa. You know what? I don't think we actually introduced ourselves properly on the slide. But anyway, hopefully you guys all know us. Let us know that you know us. But I studied in South Africa, and my first year of work was in like an incredibly rural setting. Like where you have to drive like an hour in like a really rickety old Jeep to get to like the clinic that you're serving, and people come and you do it under the tree with therapy sessions. And what that experience really taught me, because we put a lot of effort to get to an accessible place for our patients to come in, but they put far more effort. I mean, they walked for hours to see a therapist, and it just teaches you like this incredible value that we have as clinicians. And I think specifically in this like information age, where it feels like people can get information really easily, we still have like this incredible role of being that first point of contact. And this is, again, like really not to say that a physiotherapist should be treating something that is the role of a speech and language therapist, or, vice versa. But it is that point of saying, like, we build a lot into developing a relationship with the families that we work with. And if you're not doing that, you should be. It's an integral part of therapy. And we do so much history taking. We do so much in terms of gathering information. And instead of leaving it at bay because like, well, that's their role, or just saying, I'm going to write a referral for speech therapy. We like getting involved in this picture of how babies really, when they're thriving holistically, they thrive better. And like you said, this can impact the way that we work collaboratively with other therapists, and we really involve them as an interdisciplinary team. And similarly, when we involve families, which we're going to be talking more about tomorrow, it's definitely one of our themes throughout the summit, is really keeping in mind what is happening with families holistically. So while we're here on the live, I did want to just put it out there. If you have any questions about this, if there's things that are unclear to you in terms of like, what does that mean, being a first point of contact? Like where does the line start and end? Because it is a balancing act, that we're not stepping on other professions. Come and let us know in the comment box. We would love to dialogue around this and really discuss more with you. One of the things that I was just thinking about, I know in the first day, on day one, we had a talk by what was her name again? It was about the first 60 days by Deborah McNellis, and she was talking about how like there's like this interaction between babies, the way that they're communicating. And if you think about this act of like a baby looking into your eyes and communicating with you, there's so much that goes on to enable that occurs. So while we often like just bundle communication, speech and language, right? And also we often only think of that later when we're seeing like some difference in milestone. If we can think that like our jobs as therapists is to enable also all of the other things that our children need to be developing at this time to thrive, it gives us a zoomed out approach on how we're looking at our role and how we formulate our goals as well.
Absolutely. And I think what's so interesting is just thinking about just ask questions. Ask as many questions as you can. It can be difficult because I know our clinical brains are working whenever we're seeing kiddos, but I had the unique experience of being in the clinic where everyone came to me, and then being in the home through early intervention, and then going back to the clinic. And man, did my conversations with parents and caregivers change once I had been in that home environment, because I suddenly saw what you're talking about, this holistic picture. What does travel look like to get to therapy appointments? Who else is in the household? How is their house set up? What is their daily rhythm? Do you feel like that parent is surviving or thriving? What's the mental health of everyone in the home? And so, from an outside perspective looking in, some of those conversations could look like a therapist gabbing with a mom, like just talking about life and whatever and learning these things, but we're taking in so much valuable information whenever we ask those questions. Because formerly, when everyone came to me, it was difficult to really conceptualize without those probing questions that are in a very conversational form. But I may not know how many siblings are at home. I may not know that there's a sibling that has some behavior issues that make things really hard, to where maybe parents or caregivers can't focus their sole attention on baby in their development, or there's dynamics at play that we don't know about, or financial ability. We may not really know the full picture unless we're really asking questions that lend us to understand, is this an appropriate recommendation for this family, or is this something that I need to get really creative and offer solutions that are a little bit outside of the box so that they aren't strained even more than they already are financially? Or sure, I'm recommending this great car seat or this great infant seat or this product, but maybe that's not possible for that family. Maybe they don't have an access to technology to even acquire that product, or whatever it may be. But so important to be looking at our kiddos holistically with their family and their family systems and everything that's going on, as well as also encouraging the family in some of those things. When I think about holistic, I think I think we mentioned yesterday, like maybe a child has motor impairments, but maybe they're really excelling in their speech and language. And if we know just enough to be able to speak into that, what a gift that is for a family to be able to come and hear, not, oh, they're not crawling, they're not rolling over, they're not sitting up. These are the things that we're working on. But as you're working on those things, oh my goodness, listen to them babble and look how they're making such good eye contact with me. That doesn't mean that I have to be an expert in communication or speech and language development, but I can know enough to be able to encourage that family in where their child is thriving and doing really well, in addition to where we can also work on things.
Yeah, I love that. It also just reminds me how like this thing of relationship is so integral when we're working with children. And for us as the clinicians on the other side, like it's the blessing, I think. I think this is like, for me, what really motivates me in working with children is this amazing interaction that we get to have as well. But when we are thinking about our children, not in terms of like just a protocol, we do X and Y happens, we fix like this and Y occurs, but we're thinking of it within this like social construct, within this like understanding of promotion and prevention. Then we also see how our children are motivated. What are the things that really like push them forward, in terms of also aligning with the goals that we are rightly setting in that clinical setting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I hope that we have some great thoughts from all of you listening. We really appreciate your thoughts. I know we always have, coming to our summits, just really a wealth of experience from international attendees to people that have been working for years and years and years. So we really want to hear your thoughts as well. Come and comment and let us know what you're thinking. If you agree, disagree, any further questions that you have, come let us know in that comment box. And we will be having a final wrap-up call on Thursday, which we'll invite you to come and also share your thoughts and things. And if there's any really like juicy questions, we'll be sure to leave those for Thursday too. So I think it's come to the time where we say thank yous and things, Kaylee.
Yes. And as a final note, if you're a parent and you've been listening to this and you're thinking, okay, this is so clinical, this doesn't apply to me, we would love to hear from families about maybe an experience where you weren't treated holistically, or maybe you were really well and you appreciated it, or, seeing that side of things. This is a unique experience because we are having clinicians, caregivers, parents, all alike here together, and man, can we learn from one another. I feel like, maybe we gave you some insight into where our brains are at as clinicians in this live, but we also want to hear from you if you're a caregiver. Positives, negatives, questions, concerns, whatever it may be, we can learn so much from your experience and your vantage point in all of this as well. Huge, huge thank you though to Evivo Probiotics. I'm going to put it up closer to the screen. Of course, it's backwards, but we will be giving away a month's supply of this incredible probiotic that you can start from, I believe, week 2. With baby, you can mix it with breast milk or formula and feed it to them that way, which is also so nice. My babies hated the taste of those little drops that you put in their mouth. It was so foreign. And, we're going to get into sensory stuff today. And in future talks, Holly, you're going to be talking about sensory stuff too. What a positive experience to be adding this probiotic, but in a way that babies are used to taking in those tastes. So be sure to comment below. Bonus points if you're giving us key takeaways, in addition to letting us know you're here. Follow Evivo Probiotics on Instagram for your final check mark to enter that giveaway. And that link will be below. But just a reminder too, you have 24 hours on the free ticket to listen to everyone from today's talks. That's 8 a.m. Central today to 8 a.m. Central on day 3 that you have access to those talks. But we feel there's such an incredible value with upgrading to that VIP ticket to have lifetime access to these talks, you guys. So whether it may be in a few months, you think, oh man, that wasn't appropriate to me at the time with my baby, and I really need to go back and listen. Or it may even be that future babies down the road, I go back and listen to the Toddler Play Conference, which Holly hosts, to refresh my memory from incredible speakers that I heard. And the same for this summit as well. So this is the most cost effective it's going to be for you. That gives you that learning certificate too. And that's not just clinicians. We've been told that people are able to submit that for foster care, continuing education hours. There's all kinds of ways that you can utilize those continuing education units to your advantage. And so nice to be able to just do that on the go through our podcast app.
Yeah, and also where, we have the accreditations that are listed on the website. But if you have something else in mind, we're open to suggestions, at least for future summits. So always just let us know. There are many of you that are working with children from different professional backgrounds. So we're definitely open to making future summits more accessible for you as well. And I did want to just mention that if you were with us on yesterday's live, we have left a comment on that thread saying who the winner for yesterday's prize was. So make sure if you were hoping to win that you go check that out. And our prize winner for today's live will be announced in 24 hours on this YouTube thread. So come back and check if it's maybe you. We'll tag you for sure. And I think that is it. Right, Kaylee?
I think so. I'm looking forward to day 3, and we can't wait to hear from you guys.
Yeah, tomorrow we are going to be talking in our live about a family-centered approach and really looking more at the biomedical approach versus a health promotion approach. So we're excited to share all of that, and come and do all that commenting and do those things and let us know how it's all going. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.